Hey guys, I accidentally clicked the start stream button a bit too early, so you have to wait a moment while I just send out notifications and stuff. But yeah, so while I'm sending this stuff, we'll be doing a little bit of XGen today, which I'm looking forward to doing. So let's just get this live notify, get this on there, and then let's get into Facebook. 1 second, guys. Sorry about this. Time to start on some. Okay, there we go. Hey guys. So I just got 2 more places to post, and then we can get started. There we go. Right, so that's that. 1 more place. God damn it. Some XGen if anyone has any questions. Sweet. Okay, so close that tab, keep this tab open. Yeah, so I have worked a little bit off stream, as per usual, but nothing major. All I've done off stream is primarily just some texture transfer stuff. I set up 2 UV sets to transfer the high-res scan stuff. I haven't put them into Mari yet, so they're not actively in use at this point. But basically just a way to save me a ton of time and transferring maps. So I'll be getting that into Mari at some point, possibly on stream, possibly off, but not today. In terms of what we're doing today, as I said, we'll be primarily doing some Grim, blocking out some eyelashes, blocking out some eyebrows, potentially doing some ear fuzz. Not sure yet. The ear fuzz, possibly not, because the hair's all combined into one mesh right now, like the proxy hair, I mean. But we have some stuff we can get on with, so I'm going to be doing that. But in the meantime, I'm going to quickly change a render setting on this guy. I'm going to change this. It may even be worth me disabling this, actually. I can go back to it later. But yeah, so I do have a scene set up. I did some like XGen tests on a different day, which I believe I showed like 2 streams ago, like showing it rendering anyway. But yeah, we'll be just blocking out eyebrows and eyelashes today. So part of the process, given that I'm rendering in Katana rather than Maya itself, I'm going to be doing my groom in a separate scene, just kind of keep things nice and neat and tidy and all that jazz. So I've got a groom scene. I'll be setting up all my scalps and stuff in here, because we read those in as their own file when we go to Katana. So yeah, we have the test run in here, which I'm going to delete because we want to create a new groom. So we need to go through and start on scalps. So we got head scalp, which is good. I'm going to duplicate that guy and create a eyelash scalp as well. So let's go eyelash scalp, and this one will just be a lot smaller. You don't need to do this, but I find if I'm going to be generating like tons of like clumps, it's easier to have this as separate geometry. So we'll just do all this. Yeah, that works. Then get rid of all this stuff. Get rid of all that stuff. And I might smooth this as well. Yeah, I'm gonna smooth this. In fact, no, we'll leave it alone. If it ends up not working, then I'll go back and smooth it later. But we got eyelash scalp, which has UVs. There we go. And I'm not gonna move these around because it's part of the head. So, but yeah, so we got that. That's just to kind of save us a bit of effort later. And yeah, I guess from here we can just start getting some groom going. So I'm going to start with the head. So start with head scalp, and create a description. This is going to be Char Mona. That was Michael Jackson sounding asset. Tremona01 collection. Then we're going to go fur eyebrows, 01 description, placing and shaping guides, sure. And that should work. So let's create that. Cool. I'm going to see if I can avoid using the eyelash scalp. It's just there as a backup, so we'll hide it for now. But yeah, so do I have the body? Yeah, I do. Okay, hide that. So we need to start on some eyebrows. First off, let's work with symmetry in some way. See if I can remember how to do it. Oh, you just mirror them after. Okay, cool. So let's get PRF up. Load recent Mona. We need to look at the eyebrows. So the eyebrows are very focused in one area. She doesn't really have them. And it's basically just this little region of two faces plus a little bit around it. Our mesh may be a little bit low res for this. Obviously, Eshin itself smooths it, but it might not be one-to-one. So we'll have to see. 1 second. We'll have to. Sorry, someone just sent me a message about the CG grooming artist group. But yeah, so we may have to see if the smoothing causes any issues. I don't think it will in this case. So let's just get a eyebrow in there, and then we'll mirror it over. And I guess we'll start by looking at these guys. Hey Vinicus, how's it going? So I think for style of eyebrows, I kind of want to do something not messy, but I don't want to do something that's super neat. Like a little bit of clumping, a little bit of stuff going on. So I guess right now, of all the ones I have, this is probably closer to what I want. Maybe a little bit too clumpy, but let's just start by getting a feel for how thick these are. So I'm just going to place a few guides. I like to use wireframe unshaded when I'm blocking these out, just so I kind of have an idea as to what the mesh is doing. It's non-essential, but let's just do something like that for now. Get all the ones in the bottom, move that because it's Satan, then find my Wacom pen, and just move these up. I'm gonna curl that way. Obviously, the eyebrow itself is an unusual shape, so one thing I need to figure out is the flows of the eyebrows. Do I want to distribute it the way that real eyebrows are? So it starts off pointing up and then becomes like an arrow shape? Or do I want to just kind of imagine it's normal eyebrows where I cut off the side? Because that's another way of approaching the same thing. But let's just do this. Grab this guy. Let's consult. I don't know if any of these are particularly defined in the painting. It seems to be pointing up. At least the brushstrokes are all going up. So we may have to do that. So I'm guessing then to get that kind of button look, yeah, they're all pointing up. Okay, so to get that button look then, we're going to need to point them up and then curl them really aggressively. So I'm going to need probably quite a few guides to define that. They're actually going that way at the start as well. So let's do that. So knowing Groom, what's going to happen when I do this is that we're going to have quite a lot of guides. But yeah, these are all going that way. So let's see if I can just match the painting for a bit. Let's do that. We also need to figure out the height of them too. See if we want the same effect as like a normal eyebrow, or if we want it to kind of sit out like a sculpted mesh almost. Okay. You're kind of tricky to figure out, aren't you? Okay. So the eyebrow just kind of fades out and ends. It's also a lot shorter at this edge. So I guess we can scale these guys down. Scale these guys down a little bit. Wondering, do we even want it to be pointing up or just going out? But that's going to create quite a strange effect. Let's get rid of that guide. Add this guy maybe. Okay. maybe end them at a point. Given that we're doing quite an unusual flow, I'll probably create my hairs quite soon, so we can really immediately see what's happening. But we're going to need to do something like this to get that shape. In fact, this needs to be pointing that way. As the U. Something like that works a little bit better. Okay, guide in here. Scale it up. Get that kind of volume in there. Because again, these aren't real eyebrows. Something like that might work. This guide's a bit flat compared to that one. So let's pull you out. Maybe I have to scale him up too. Just do that, pointing the right way. Cool. So I'm going to go in, paint a mask for this guy. Create map. Call this one fur eyebrows mask. And then we'll do 01. Default you to black with around 20 ptux. Create. Cool. So now, misconception a lot of people have with Groom, or at least grooming in Next-Gen with Maya's paint effects or paint tool, is that you don't have symmetry. You actually do, it just goes by a different name. It's called reflection in here, so that's how you get symmetry. Let's set that to white. Always use a solid brush, especially when doing a mask. We can get to density as a separate step. So I'm just going to do this. That's a bit low res. So let's just save, edit, let's do 2048. Cool. Then continue painting. There you go, that's better. We don't need anything too detailed because naturally anytime you're doing hair, you're not going to get clean lines anyway. So don't worry about getting clean lines. Unless you really need something very specific, but I don't think you will. Holding control to invert the color. So I feel like that works. Save. And then save our ptex. Cool. Then set this to like 100 or something. Sweet. I'm just gonna grab all these guys as well and mirror those over. Cool. So, tube shade, disable that because I hate it. I'm going to add primitive color. I'm just going to replace that with rand 0.5 to 1. It varies the hair color a little bit. Don't need to set any of that, although maybe it's worth it for later, so set to batch mode. Primitives, we want a few more than that, let's go with like 8. Then we want the width to go a bit lower, something like that should work. Where is he? So to get this solidness, we can't really do real hair counts, but we may have to. I'm not sure yet how this is supposed to work. Also, we need to lie these guides flat, 'cause that's a very weird shape. That's shelf. So let's reduce this a little bit more and increase our density. So let's go like 200. Cool. And while we're at it, we may as well just quickly throw in some clumping and stuff. So clumping, set up maps, generate. I might quickly grab the mask from the other guy. And let's grab the mask. Modifiers, set maps. Works. Kind of tempted to multiply this as well. Yeah, let's multiply it by 0.8. There we go. It adds a touch of randomness to the clump sizes. We get more gaps and stuff. That should work. So let's hit save. I've been having this issue a lot recently, actually. The saving of clumps is surprisingly slow. I'm not sure why. Because adding a mask shouldn't cause any issues. Either way, we should only have to do this once or twice, so it's not a big deal. It could even be worth just removing the mask completely and just dealing with the fact we have to generate a lot of extra points. Because we are using the scalp at the end of the day, like it's not a huge area that the clumps are covering. But like, if we did sub-clumps, it starts to matter. This is very slow though. Oh, zeroing pixel. I may have to kill Maya. Give it time to finish. If it breaks the viewport, we'll just have to kill Maya and reopen it. It's not a big deal. Are we still rendering? No, we're not. We may even need to go at a lower texels per unit, or higher texels per unit to get this to work. Let's see if it works first. While we wait for this, does anyone have any questions about this sort of stuff? Okay, yeah, I think. Set up maps. Let's go to 50. And while this loads. Let's quickly check. We'll have to replace these paths. But this should be quite easy to do. Okay, yeah, we might have to kill collection here. We can do guard clumping. That also could work. Yeah, that's dying. Alright, let's kill Maya. Quickly block those out again. Cool. Have you encountered any problems with XGen? I mean, I have. Like, I mean, just did. It's one of those where, generally speaking, like I've probably got something wrong with my scene that I haven't found, because it's been a while since I worked with XGen like properly. But generally speaking, it's fairly stable once you treat it right. Like, it's normally in the setup that things break. Like, once you got things set up, everything will work pretty conventionally. Okay, so let's get that. So we need to quickly rebuild that. Outliner. Kill this guy. Kill that guy. Hide you. Get you. I won't recreate the eyelash geometry yet. The eyelash scalp yet. So let's just go in here. We're gonna go char Mona 01 col. For eyebrows 01 description. Overwrite. Let me go to that guy. This PC. Projects. Personal projects. Mona. And then we can go to XGen. Collections. Eyebrows 01 description. Cool, there we go. So we're just going to quickly go in, replace those guides. Mainly use Houdini. Yeah, Houdini is really, really nice. It's something I kind of want to work with at some point professionally. Okay, let's get this. So I'm going to do something a bit quicker this time. Okay. Then drag you over. Go into the Sculpt tool. Tool settings. Okay. And we're just going to do this. Quick enough. We'll go in and actually refine it. But that will get us most of what we want. Let's bring these out. Give a bit more volume. We want that kind of like pill shape thing that's got going. There we go. So, throw these over to the other side. Cool. I'm gonna create a mask again. For eyebrow 01 mask. See to about 20. Start color. Let's do black. Cool. Hit that again. Oh, already had that. Turn on reflection. And then before we even start, let's just do 2048. Yeah. Cool. I don't know why opacity is on, but doesn't matter too much, I guess. Where is it? I like to make sure stylus pressure is off when I'm doing my first blockouts. Just so I've got completely 0 and 1 values. Makes it a bit more predictable. Okay. That will do. Save texture. Save our ptex. Okay. So this time we won't make the same mistake, and I'll make sure to save before we start doing clumping. Hey. About here, about there. Anti-aliasing, I already set 16. Okay, turn off tube shade then. There we go. I'm going to have to create a new material as well. So let's do that. Okay, so hair physical. Oh no, hair tube. Select U. Oh yeah, it needs to be set to black for this to work. So let's go into Action. $A. There we go. Okay. So let's do rand minus 0.5 to 0. Apparently it doesn't work. Okay. Let's do 0 to 0.2, just to get some kind of variation in there. Ah, now it works. What? 0 to 1. Huh. Okay. Well, in that case, I guess we just ignore that. Let's do $A instead. Apply. Turn off filling parameters in view, so it's always generating them all. And I'm going to switch you to a Lambert, just so it's not interfering as much. There we go. Did it just crash? This is going fucking well, isn't it? Oh, there we go. Hey Stash, how's it going, man? Okay, so now that we've got our scene saved, now let's try setting up the clumping. So I'm just gonna generate on default settings, hit save. Okay. So let's increase that. Let's go to 10. Okay. So I just didn't like the mask, I guess. Weird, but okay. Generate. That'll work well enough. Did you finish texturing? No, I haven't. I'm just going to block out some basic grims. So now, let's do percentage effect. I need a map for this. So let's do create map for eyebrows. CO1 mask black 5 will do, I think. Okay, and then we're just going to, I should have started with white really, but okay. Flood paint that. Okay, there we go. just paint black where we want it to fade out, which is mostly the edge here. So let's do a touch of black like that. Smooth it. Have a touch of black. Smooth it. And then just to kind of ease the clumps out a little bit. Save textures. Save ptex. Cool. And then I will replace this, but I just need to load it in. Load expression. Since it's affected. Okay, call this one CO1 mask. Replace that with CO1 mask. Cool. So that will do is basically whenever we paint, it will use this. Then it checks a percentage, which we will give it in a moment, and then check a random value. Once that when it finds a random value that is smaller than the percentage, it will use the mask. And when it uses one that's bigger than percentage, it will use 0. So, oh yeah. There we go. So what that allows me to do is have a map that defines where I want clumps, but I can still set the percentage of them that's actually affected. Which for eyebrows is vital, like they just don't work without it. Yeah, there we go. So I'm going to go into that hair physical shader because I don't really like it, but let's just quickly save. We won't need any more clumps, so let's just add our cut now rather than later. Multiply that by $C length. Set it down to like 0.4, maybe 0.5. 0.5 is too much. 0.4. Works well enough. And then add a noise. This noise is more of a general frizz. So we just want it to kind of bend the hairs slightly, not do anything too crazy. So if we're going to need a particularly high res. I'll need to get some actual high-res eyebrows when I do a proper attempt at this, but for now, let's just do something like that. 0.2. Let's go a little bit higher in the frequency. Let's go like, yeah, let's do multiply by C length. Could do divide as well, depending on the effect that I want. Let's just set that a bit higher. Okay, go lower. Go between those two, 2.5. Works well enough. So now let's just do a round for this guy. Let's go 0.5. Now let's do 0.5 to 1 and multiply that by whatever the value was, 0.3 I think. So it gives it a bit of randomness. And then as per usual, load expression, percentage affected. So it's good to have hairs that aren't affected by everything. That'll give us something a bit more organic. We need to do more guide work obviously, but we'll need a width map as well, which will do quite a lot for the eyebrows. Generally speaking, width maps are really important to eyebrow hair. But yeah, so let's get the hypershade up. I'm going to grab this guy. I hate that action grows out with time. So all I'm going to do is go for this tone. So color pick that. Then darken it a bit. Something like that will do. And specular color. Pick that original color. Power. So now let's just quickly do some width maps. So intersection. Oh, I need to add strays as well. Let's do percentage affected as per usual. There we go. Hey Alex, how's it going, man? Let's go with a lower value. Let's go 0.5. Get that in there. $1.2. Okay. Mult by $C length. There we go. It gives us a little something. And we can change the seed to pick which hairs are affected until we find the shapes that we like. Like that one. Right, so back into hair. I'm going to set her hair to like a more appropriate thickness. Okay. Then we'll need to do width map and adjust the guides. So we'll do width map first because that's a quick win. We also need a density map. So we'll do that as well. So I'm going to call this one mask, copy paste that, call this one mask for a moment, call this one density, call this one density, apply, yep, that's fine. Uh, 0.5 is actually what we want in this case. But let me just flood it just in case it's not what it's defaulted to. Okay, save texture. Let's double check that's the right one. Yep. Save view. Okay, and we're just going to do mult $density. I'll get to Y in a moment. So, yeah, there we go. Perfect. So we're just going to increase that. Let's go 350, not 3,500. So why did I do a mid-gray value density map? Basically, while I was at MPC, something I learned in the groom team there is that having one map do both your mask and your density is just a really good way to constantly have to repaint quite difficult stuff. So generally a way I like to work is I have a mask which is pure black and white. It just says, hey, hair grows here and does not grow here. I then have a separate map, which is density. So I set it to 0.5 so that I can increase the density or decrease the density. And that allows me to get the fades that I want. The combination of those two means that I don't always have to be worrying about getting the fade right and then repainting the hairline. I can always have the hairline in the right place and do the density around that. And the way you combine them is just multiplying them. So you always get exactly what you want. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to paint this guy. And let's go to here. So obviously we need more density over on this side. So I'm going to paint a value of like, let's say 0.75. Like this. I'm going to paint that over here. Smooth one edge of it, although the smooth is a bit too large, isn't it? Blur, yeah. Okay, but we'll go back to painting. So paint that, blur, paint, blur, blur. And then over here, we'll paint a lower value. So let's say 0.25. Let's paint that down there. Blur, paint, blur. Something like that. What that will do for me is kind of adds more in areas where we want it. I'm going to increase that though. I'm going to go to 0.95 or something. Paint. Something like that. Okay, and then we're going to paint even lower value out here. Let's go 0.1 or something. Obviously I'm blurring it, so I'm not actually reaching those values, but save that. Do I have this mirroring? I do, good, good, good. And we'll just blur in the middle. So then save that. There we go. It just weights things more towards the middle. This is still not blurring quick enough, so I'm going to have to go even lower. So let's just go all the way to 0.1, and then I'm going to change my brush perhaps. Need a brush with a lot of texture. That could work. Okay. Save textures. Save Pt.28. There we go. And what I can do as well is, I think this is growing out too far. So let's go and paint our mask. Solid brush, black. Do that. Okay, save texture, save Pt.28. There we go. I think it's too high. The whole thing needs to move down a bit. But we'll see how it renders. And the last thing we'll need is a width map, but I think if... I can probably do that quite quickly actually. Yeah, let's do a width map. So, for this guy, I'm going to have width mult. Width mult. Okay. Paste this in. It's going to say width mask. Mask. Oh, call it map actually. Okay. Add this in there. Apply. Accept. Paint. I'm going to flood that to white in this case. I could flood it to 0.5 again. In fact, yeah, let's flood it to 0.5. Flood paint. Save textures. Save that. And we'll just do width mult. Width mask multiplied by width mult. Come on. So let's go. Where is he? There he is. There we go. Our hair halved in width, so we'll just double that quickly. Let's go 2.4. And now we can just paint values of near black, although I don't need to go all the way. I'm just going to go 0.25 or something. And we'll just paint that along the outside. I'm not going to worry about blurring yet. Let's just see what it looks like. That's good to me. And we'll just paint a value of 0.5 back in. This is an area where noisy maps can look quite good, but I'm just going to block out for a while, especially if we might be moving the eyebrows in a moment. Save that. And then save you again. Okay, there we go. We have eyebrows. Extremely basic, but eyebrows. Let's remove him and him. And then time to start getting the actual eyebrows sculpted. So, I will keep that there actually. Okay, so this angle is a lot steeper than I've got it, so we're just gonna do that with it. Same with you. And I think same with you, just push that up a little bit. And for this guy, we want it to be flat to the head. And then for this bit down here, I'm going to angle it down so it's a bit more teardrop. I think that could look interesting. You're doing a little bit too much nothing, aren't you? Made a guide down there to be longer. Not like that though. Ah, come on. Reset tool. Okay, teardrop. May need more CVs along the hair for this to work, but we'll find out. That guy's flat. Let's make this guy flat. Okay, do the same with this guy. They don't have to be flat to the head, but I find it looks better when they are. Although we do need to be careful about subdivision and displacement. The moment we start adding like flatness to skin is the moment you start really playing with that stuff. Okay, we need... Let me do something. I like to place a mask. Find out where the hairline is. I'm putting my finger on the screen. I'm just going to add a guide right where my finger is. That helps me like get the outline. So this guy's obviously going up too much. So we need to do that with him. He is inside the head a little bit, so we'll do that. Okay, we're going to pull that down a bit. I know this isn't what the ref is doing, but I think it might need to for this to look good. Then you do that. Okay, delete these guys. Maybe these ones over. Update the Grim. Seems to be working. Definitely too high though. So let's start moving those down. We'll start with the, I guess the guides. We do need to move them all down kind of uniformly. That is sat below the brow, which is going to be a little bit difficult to be honest, because our displacement's going to try to like cut through that. But let's just try moving all these down. So we're going to go into place somewhere like there maybe. Okay, move the guide down. Then go into the mask. Just repaint that. Okay, save textures. Density. That should still function mostly, but let's color pick that value. Let's add that in here. Let's do something like that. Save textures. Save density. It feels better. It's only moved a little bit, but it has moved. So let's, as per usual, delete that guy, mirror over, update. There we go. We have our width map. It might be in the wrong place now though, so grab that guy. Definitely in the wrong place now. So it's 0.5. Get this brush. I'm just going to go in and paint in here like that. Okay. I'll do 0.25. Okay. And then let's go in and paint something a bit higher. 0.8, sure, why not? Save textures. Save width. There we go. It works. We can see how it renders. It's going to be too sparse, I think, but it's best to find out. Like, this is reading basically like a brick, whereas ours is fading in. But this is one of those areas where I need to visually experiment. Is that seriously how low that feels? I might need to go even lower. But yeah, I do. Jesus, that's way too high. Okay. Maybe using the topo as a guide was a bad idea. So let's let the preview automatically. Okay. So once we've got them all in the right place, it should get a lot easier. These guys need to come out that way a fair bit. Okay, mirror that over. There we go. We could just do a camera lineup as well, but let's test that out. Okay. Save textures. I'm gonna do much blockier textures for a bit. Okay. Yeah. Okay. 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 We need to regenerate the clump maps potentially as well. Probably not, but let's just do it anyway. No harm. There we go. Okay, let's get a guide in the middle there. Okay, let's get a guide there as well. It's not doing a bad job. I'm wondering why it's looking so weird in the preview. Okay, there we go. That's better. Still very strange though. Do I need... Oh wait, am I... I feel like my mask doesn't line up with the guides. Let me just select all these guys. Okay. Next gen. Go to the mask. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay. So let's just paint a value of black. Oh, hello. Oh, I wasn't just painting black, was I? Back. There we go, it's better. Save textures. There we go. Ah, we don't have true zero values anymore. Okay, what's going on? Why won't you go away? Let's go 5. There's nothing there. Unless it's a Pt.28 thing. Huh? Okay. Let's try. Okay, that's what I expected. So let's go back up to 20. What? Okay, let's just flood black. Okay, let's quickly paint white back in. That was weird. Okay. Save textures. Save Pt.28. Oh, that's strange. Okay. Either way, mostly working now. Let's just bump up that density a bit. And the width map will need to adjust. Okay, so let's flood fill this back to 0.5. Flood fill. Save textures. Save Pt.28. Cool. And then we're just going to go around on this and paint a lower value. 0.25. Okay. My intention is to paint like around it, then blur in. That gives a nice gradient. Then we just add that 0.5 back in. We'll put it mostly here. Save textures. Save ptex. There we go. So let's do a test render. So I need to file, export patches for batch render. Okay, that's done. Then go into Katana. And go into this guy, allow him in. Browse, got that guy. Browse to you. So we just have to keep incrementing this number right here. But in theory, that's now working. So let's go into our scene graph. Got this. Now what I'm wondering, do we need this full name? And can I just go into my groom? I'm going to assign this for now. Let's just put next-gen. Let's just see if this renders. It could crash, I don't know. I'm gonna also increment save. Yeah. Okay, so let's just get this area. Should have groom. There we go, we have groom. Hey, Casey. So they're a bit too thin, but they're there. It could also be a hair shading issue, but it does look like it's working. So let's go into here. I'm going to copy this, but I'm also going just to remove this completely. Okay. So if I go into my scene graph now, does this still render? I hope it does. It does. Sweet. So that means we can start assembling shaders kind of as we go. I'm going to have to set this to thick and see how it looks as well. Gives it a bit more body, but it's still too narrow. Yeah, so we'll set this back to ribbon. And what we may need to do as well is load in specific grooms from this. Hi, question. How do you export groom or hair of XGen in production? So let me find a site for you. Shark Tacos. Shark Tacos XGen. So if you search Shark Tacos XGen, like Collab, help documents, they have an entire page on like XGen pipelines somewhere in here. So let me just... Where's XGen? Oh, it's like V-Ray XGen, I think it is. Where is it? XGen here. This one has some sections on rigging, talking about how you do it. This is a very old tutorial. I used this when I was first learning, but it's all still relevant. So I'll send you this, shark tacos. Basically, export a percentage of your hairs, use those as curves for a rig to control, and feed them back into your grim. So that's working. Okay, so we need to go in and enable. Let's turn that one off. So we don't want a mustache anymore. We don't want coat fuzz anymore. We don't want shirt fuzz anymore. We don't want nose hair anymore. Peach fuzz will have. Eyebrows will have. So I'm just going to go in scene graph, geo. Then we'll just put xgen for this bit. Gonna put that like that. In fact, yeah, I'll leave that like that. And then eyebrows. Okay, and let's go into our grim materials. Eyebrow matte. So we just need to grab the head hair matte that we're using right now. And for now, this is all we're using, because we still need to go through and like set up a pipeline for texturing at some point. So I'm just going to name this eyebrow for eyebrow matte. Okay, and we'll leave that as is for a bit. Color-wise, I think we could probably add a little bit more diffuse and use a lighter color. Let's go like, maybe desat a little bit as well, so like here, and set you to like 3.5. Grab that, try to diffuse color as well. Monitor. Our hairs are definitely too thin. Although I'm wondering, should we go down the route of adding thickness or down the route of adding width? Can I override it in our node graph as well? I don't think I can. Well, it's min pixel width. If I set it to 1, it'll make it a lot chunkier, but obviously that will affect every grim, so. Yeah, I'm just gonna set that to 0 again. Going to Maya. So it feels like this should be okay, but the thing I'm hesitant about is that this width doesn't feel too narrow to me. So maybe we just need to crank this. So it does need to read solid, I guess. So we're going to save the scene, which will overwrite the xgen file. In theory, that's that done. That should now render thicker. Oh, this should render with high density. Looks like it has. Yep. Tools having dynamic links like this just really, really pleases me. Thinking of a PC way to word it then. So what I'm wondering is, do I want to do specific descriptions? I think I'm going to, so I'm going to go for eyebrows, like that. But then I have to change this in each one. Okay, we may do one for eyelashes, but for now let's just keep that as is. Yeah, that's working. It's a bit too dense now. We'll have to kind of go through and do like a pass figuring out all the other stuff. But let's start on some extremely basic eyelashes. I'm going to increment save my scene. So it's 0.03 now. I'm going to preemptively export batches. And I'm going to increase this to that. And do the same for you. I can probably automate this. Like if I create a project attribute, I can just change this number and have this read like a specific attribute from somewhere else. So I could just update one number and it does both for me. But that's not something I'm too worried about, to be honest. Not yet, anyway. So let's get... I'm going to let this render for a bit while I start on eyelashes. Although I am wondering if I do actually need the other... I think I do. Okay, let's create a new one on this. If I need to delete it, I'll delete it. So let's do for eyelashes 01 description. Okay, start adding some guides. Cool. So let's get guide in there. 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 And guide in there. I'm going to move these. Okay, there we go. I'm just going to do some extremely basic lashes, just so we can get something in the scene. Because the sooner we start rendering, the sooner we can tell what needs fixing. Okay. Obviously, we'll be playing quite a lot with length and all that sort of stuff, but... How much memory does Action take on the memory card? Do you mean the RAM? So it depends on how heavy the groom is. Like the heaviest groom I've ever done with XGen, memory-wise, was like 16 gigabytes. But like, if you have limited memory, you can still groom. You just need to be really smart about how you do it. That's the key thing that people overlook. You can groom on most systems. Just be wary, it'll be a bit slow. I'm getting some weird performance issues myself at the moment, actually. My PC's been acting up for a while, I might need to upgrade soon. But yeah, so let's scale these guys down. So I'll do that. Okay. So let's go in, create a mask. For eyelashes 01 mask, filter black, set it to like 30. we're going to paint a value of 1. And then okay. One thing that you need to be wary of when painting maps for eyelashes is that the thickness of the line that you draw also impacts the density quite a lot. So you need it to be fairly even where you can, at least for the mask. It doesn't matter so much with the other ones. But like stuff like this won't fly. Like this is going to cause issues, so. Especially stuff like this as well. Okay, save textures. Save you as well. And then I'm going to bump this to like 200. There we go. Okay, we're going to need to do a region mask, so let's go into, set this to 1. Create map. For eyelashes, 01, region, map. Okay, I'm going to set this to, let's go with that blue. Don't know why it's not mirroring, but okay. Let's quickly just flood fill red, reset that. Okay, save textures. Okay, let's go like that. Then we need a density map, so we're just going to call this one mask. Call this one density. And just do this will break, but that's fine. Apply, accept, I expected that. You still function. Yep. And then you don't, which is good. So we're just going to paint 0.25 at the bottom. As an oversimplification, I like to half my density and width on the bottom eyelashes. I find that I just like the way it looks. I used to see it quite like in ref, but as time goes on, I don't know if I was just seeing things. But doing this means we get half the density on the bottom. So let's set you to like 12 because it's only eyelashes. We want quite a lot of taper on this guy. And a fairly late taper start. Let's go 02. Maybe more. We need a width map too. So let's just go to width. Okay. I go 0.25 on the bottom for this one as well. Okay. Gives me a little bit of randomness per hair. Oh, that needs to be doubled actually. There we go. Okay. Modifiers. Let's add a clumping mod. Set maps. Generate. 20. Generate. Maybe 30. In what cases will you go for Yeti instead of XGen? Fur can be done in XGen, but how does it feel? Affect the rendering pipeline. I prefer Yeti for creatures, but it's kind of hot garbage at humans, so I avoid it for humans. But yeah, I mean, obviously people are free to use whatever tools they want to use. But I just don't like XGen for fur, and I don't like Yeti for digitables. In terms of rendering pipeline, I'd say Yeti is a lot easier to set up and keep consistent. But then for simulation, Yeti is like not that good apparently. I'm going to emphasize apparently because I haven't done a simulation pipeline in Yeti. I've just done rendering and look dev stuff for personal projects. But yeah, it's not something I like to use. Okay, let's add a load expression, percentage affected. Okay, we need to curl this a lot more for it to work. But let's just increase that density a bit more. Let's go 300. Okay, there we go. I'm going to add a cut. So we want a load expression essentially affected in here. And then, let's see. Give me 1 moment to think. Max angle, I guess. There we go. This allowed us to go up to like 90. Okay, there we go. I don't like that it affects clumps. I wish that wasn't the case. Okay, then let's add some noise. go into our width map. Is this set to 0.25 or 0.5? Yeah, it is. Okay. Let's go back to 0.5. That is an extreme block out. We'll just see how that renders. So let's save this guy. Thank you. X1 usually needs a lot of control over folders and stuff, I'm learning. Also, Katana, your streams are a huge help. Sweet. Yeah, I mean, X1 is definitely the most sensitive on folder naming and stuff. Like Yeti doesn't really care. Honestly, you can kind of throw anything at Yeti and just be like, alright, cool. Which I really, really like, but the problem with Yeti is more just like, it's not very controllable compared to other grooming tools. Again, especially with digitables. Digitables are just painful. Cool, there we go. So let's just do that. Save. Cool. Then go into our scene graph. Let's do a flush caches. There we go. Okay, so next one is to get the eyelash material. Replace this. That works. Just replace that with X-Gen. Then we need to go into that eyelash material and just quickly make sure that we don't have too much randomness in there. Head hair, eyelash. Okay, so we can't use that yet. We need to get rid of that. We can set that up later, but for now we can't use it. Okay. Somewhere like there, I guess. Cool. Catalog. Let's just see how that looks. We have eyelashes. Now, obviously, they need a ton of work, but we have them. One of the things to figure out is how we're going to do mascara. If I want to do geometry in them, or if I'm just going to like displace the hairs themselves, if that's possible. It's not something I've tried. We definitely need that material to be darker though. So let's just set melanin. In fact, actually, let's leave melanin where it is. Let's just add diffuse layer on top, which is set to black. Or near black, never 0.05. So it's not quite black, but it's close. And we'll just add that to like there or something. And then it's just a case of angling it to be where we want it to be. Then we can start actually matching it. Do I have any refs of eyelashes that I like? And these ones are okay, but I'm going to need to play quite a lot with clumping to get this all looking good. Do I want to do this? I don't want to do that. This goes really pretty. I need to angle it up quite a lot for that to work. I guess these are the ones that I like the most. So we're going to need a lot of guide work for that. The length variation is wild. But while that cooks, let's get Maya involved. So, outliner. Okay, just going to go in. Now I do need to consider as well that her eyes are a lot sleepier than mine. So things that might look like they have to be a lot longer might not actually have to be. But, you know, what I mean is like relative to the size of the eye, my lashes are going to have to be a bit different. Let's go into you. Do something like that. Let's add some curls. I'm going to be doing quite a lot of guides, I think, to get this feeling right. Let's just get some nice variation in there. Okay, and this needs to be a fair bit longer as well. Okay, we're going to need some very abrupt changes in length. I've also got way too many hairs at the bottom here. But like getting this mascara feel in there is going to be kind of interesting to do. Let's get a guide in there. We may even find that for this to work fully, we need to place some of them. I may also need to do like some customized like cutoffs, also cut modifiers. It's such a weird looking thing. Let me turn off cameras because it's getting on my nerves now. Where are you? What the hell is cameras? There it is. Okay, let's get some more guides in there. See, this is something where XGen IGS, or interactive grooming, is a bit better for this sort of stuff. But I hate XGen IGS, so I'm not using it, even if it is the better tool. Yeah, so we need to lower the density a fair bit, but I think that's going to work. All this stuff needs to swing more that way. Okay, scale that. Pull that up, curl it a lot. lower the size of that guy. Groom's no longer showing up. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, it's looking way too even. I do wonder if I can displace eyelashes to get like loads of crazy like swellings and stuff. I think I need to do some stuff with archives. I hope not, because I hate working with archives, but if I have to, I have to. I'm liking the shadows it's giving me though. Panel, tear off. Oh yeah, mine's stuck. Alright, cool. This happens sometimes. It's kind of like a crash, but not really. Can't remember if there's a way around it. I think I just need to close it. It did save though, so I can just quickly start another render. And I just need to kill this while it renders. Then I need to, yeah, spend some time on the eyebrows. Right, so back into Maya. Okay, open. Did it actually update? It did. Sweet. Obviously only on this side because that's the only one I worked on, but... There we go. Okay, back into Ocean. There we go. So, I need these to come up quite a lot more. So let's get these guys. Make them a fair bit longer. And then curl them up considerably more. I need more CVs. I also need this to be longer to allow all this to happen. Okay, yeah, we definitely need more CVs. Rebuild, let's go to 12. There we go. A bit more of a natural arch on there. That will allow the hair to feel a lot better as well. There we go. do kind of want to reduce the length over here. Just feels a bit too much, you know? Okay, there we go. Save my scene. Yeah, it's working. Okay, kill that. Then we'll spend a little bit more time on the eyebrows again. Unless something... I mean, I could try to tackle the displacement thing. I could also do with some peach fuzz. The thing, so for X-Gen / Yeti and Katana, the thing that I prefer about Yeti, at least in the context of using Arnold nodes, is that Yeti allows me to control the density and like render time, width, and all that sort of stuff in Katana. So I can still like groom and make like, you know, obviously style changes and clumping changes and length changes, sure, but when I go into Katana, I can like override the width to look more correct with the shaders and all that sort of stuff. Because shaders can have a huge effect on how hair looks. So like, if I've got better look dev in Katana than my preview scenes of Maya, I'm going to have a better time if I'm able to like make adjustments over here. There we go, that's better. It feels so much better. We need some like density variation and stuff for the bottom eyelid, but it's kind of way too much. Feels like she's got furry eyelids. Right, okay, so let's do one for the... Let's just do... Okay, I'm going to grab this guy. Gonna look for fur eyelashes 01 description. Okay, gonna create a prune. So what I'm gonna do this is all my grooms will come from this node, but any that need to be set to something else like thick, I'll do it to their own node. So prune, I'm gonna go to this guy, scene graph, gonna prune out the eyelashes, and this guy, for eyelashes 01 disk. How do I get this? Please? How do I do it? Let's go buy something else in Maya. Nope. Okay. Let me just test something. Yeah, there we go. So it is correct. So why is that not rendering? Okay. Well, let's temporarily just try setting this guy. We could always just duplicate this and prune what we don't need. But let's just set this guy to thick for a moment and see how differently this renders. See how this looks. So what I'm thinking is, if it's a tube, displacement is more likely to be able to do what I need it to do. So there's some stuff I need to check out, but while this is going, let's go into our groom shader. I have no idea if this works, but let's find out. Noise. Just grab that, throw it into displacement. 0.1, 0.1, 0.1. Okay, it looks mostly the same, except for the darkness of the bottom lashes when it's set to thick. Which makes sense, whenever you add actual thickness to hair, it's going to render as if it has more melanin than it does. Just try that. I hope this works. Looks like we can't displace procedurals. Okay, so that will require some R&D off stream. So let's just set this back to ribbon, because that renders faster. And then I guess let's just keep working it up. So we have, this is our current version. Just want more mascara. And I'm going to need to thin out the kind of root of all this stuff. Width might be too low as well. In fact, maybe we can do like crazy random thickness. That would also work. If we did like that. It'll only go down, but that's fine. Okay, it's going to go even lower on this. Maybe a little bit too chunky, but okay. Let's go point. Oh yeah, because it's 0.25, isn't it? So let's go 0.4. But I need to increase the whole area. Okay, so density wise we're going to need to make some changes. Let's go 0.2 maybe. In fact no, lower, 0.15. Let's turn reflection back on. Then go even lower, 0.8, 0.8 even. Get these areas. Then 0.25, I guess, for here and here. Okay, get a width. Does it make sense for this bit to be fixed still? Okay, let's go into the mask. Okay, we need to turn off stroke opacity. Need to shave this down a little bit. We'll increase the density to like compensate, but currently the hair is growing from too wide of an area, which looks really weird from a distance. Especially over here. Let's taper that out. Okay. Pushed you back up. Let's go 400. Okay, there we go. Anyone in the chat have any questions? Anything you want me to talk about or address, or anything you're curious about? I need to lower the CV count on this guy to make it a bit more workable. Okay, this bit's thinner than the rest, isn't it? Oh, it's not. It's just. Oh wait, no, it is. Cool. How much time does it take for you to understand how you imagine results of something such as Mona, anything that you design? How much time does it take? I'm not entirely sure what you mean. Like, are you asking how long does it take for me to have an idea as to what the final result will look like? Oh, so you mean like, yeah, so planning the final image? I mean, I don't, to be honest. It's one of the quirks of the way I like to work, is I don't really forward plan that much, I gotta be honest. I just kind of fuck about until something looks good. And if it never looks good, then so be it. There we go. Okay, there we go. Is that a strays noise as well? How do you imagine a final result? I just fuck about. Like, I don't really assign much thought to it, I've got to be honest. I just keep making tweaks until I like the way something looks. I don't really go in with like a pre-planned image. I kind of want to add like random really thick hairs. Let's save this. In fact, actually, eyebrows. Let's make them thicker. Let's go to width. Do I want randomness in this? Gonna grab this guy. This is gonna break, but that's fine. Just gonna replace you. That's not what it is, though. Why is this not updating? kind of getting close to where we were again, so let's increase that slightly. And the width can only go down. I'm kind of tempted to make it so it can go both ways. It's weird, because that looks like it should be pushing them both ways. So where's my maths going wrong? I know some of them are getting thicker, okay. It's just visually it doesn't feel that way. Okay, well that's working. Okay, let's try that out. Let's just grab this area. And then I feel like we can probably do a peach fuzz super quickly. Is it going to be the same when you start working with X-Gen for the hairstyle? Work looks difficult but fun to watch at the same time. Yeah, so working on the head hair is going to take way longer than this stuff. Like the stuff I'm doing right now is really simple. Well, relatively speaking. I'm doing expressions and stuff that aren't beginner friendly, but the guides and the maps are pretty beginner friendly. Once I start doing actual head hair, the complexity skyrockets. Not because it has to. Well, let me think of how I'm going to phrase it first. So, the head hair has a lot more going on, right? You've got the parting that's in the middle, you've got the stray clumps, you've got the actual structure of the hair, like the way the hairs interact with each other will have to change. There's a lot of stuff, like extra stuff going on. That'd be quite difficult to get right. Yeah, that's working better. Got a bit too much noise on this now. I need to go into that shader and add more black diffuse. In fact, we can delete a few of these things. That will connect up later. Do I not have any renders from the start? There we go. So adding a bit of groom does so much. Yeah, I'm going to have to figure out how I want to fade this stuff in, because the eyebrow position right now isn't that good. There's a lot of room for improvement on it. My blending isn't also isn't working yet. I think because the main thing is that our ref looks like the width of the eyebrow as a whole doesn't really change. Like tapers a little bit, but it's more like a square end, whereas mine comes to a tip. So I'll need to update that. Oh, that's quite a quick update, so I can do that right now and see how it looks. So let's go into Maya. We're going to go into our mask. Yeah, so ours goes to the tip too much, so let's just kind of end that like this. Okay, I'm going to save that. Oh wait, sorry. Save texture, save ptex. Something's going wrong. What's the density doing? The density is doing what we'd expect. I just got unlucky with the seed. Yeah, so we just need to go into that density. Hide that for a moment. Okay. So then save that. Save that. Then it's the width, right? Okay, so let's pick this tone right here. There we go. That feels better. So one of the issues we have is because the guides are kind of pulling this way, there's naturally going to gather. So I think the hairs right now are doing what I want them to in the density and width stuff. But because they're pointing this way, there's a physical gathering. Oh, sorry, I missed a message. Do you have any tips for beginners? I want to start using XGen. Take your time and watch tutorials in full before you start making anything. I did make a beginner's guide. Let me get my site. There's a tutorial I made that goes over the general pipeline. So I made this a while ago. The general work in there isn't that great. I made it when I was still a student, so the groom isn't very high quality, but the information is still pretty much seems to be correct. I haven't read through it in like a year, but because every night I like to sanity check my own tutorials, but everything in there is like correct info. Is just like the way I did the guides is a bit shit and that sort of stuff, but that will go over the bulk of the stuff you need to know. And at the bottom there's tips from people I used to work with, primarily people at NPC, because at the time that's everyone I knew. But definitely check through those. There's a tutorial that I did for flip normals, which I would recommend because I made it. But I'm not saying that because I get money, because I don't. Flip normals get the money for that tutorial. So I would recommend it unbiasedly, I guess, in that way. But yeah, that site isn't a video tutorial, it's a text tutorial. But yeah, so that's that in place. Let's save. And I guess we can do a quick peach fuzz. So let's go into descriptions, create description. I'll do groomable splines, because it's peach fuzz. For peach fuzz 01 description. Okay, and let's for a moment hide the clothing. Okay, so go into XGen. Trying to remember how I can mirror this. Okay, there we go. So let's just quickly... Is there a tool settings for this? No, there isn't. So I just have to keep flipping like that. Just get some nice flows going. Okay, I need to use my mouse really. So my Wacom. I'll be removing it from the head because it's just doing nothing back there. Okay, elevation. I need to change the lamp for this quite a lot, but that's a good question actually. Did I remove the inside of mouth? Looks like it did. Yeah, it did. Good. Okay, so let's go in, paint a mask. For this, I'll probably keep it simple and just do one map because I don't need crazy control over density, I just need general values. So I can paint like block values 0. Although, let's just do a black and white mask. Okay, so let's just go. Probably would have been easier to paint white, paint black, sorry, but it's okay. Oh, I'll need to, oh shit, the horns. I might need to do horns for Peach Fuzz. I'll probably need to remove the Peach Fuzz from inside the ear, but let's just keep it there for now. we go. That'll work for now. Save that. There we go. So let's want the. Oh, we want that to be a bit higher. We'll leave that alone actually. Multiply by 0. Do we want clumping? I guess we do. Peach fuzz does clump, it's just very subtle. Okay, add a cut. Okay. Okay, we need to go denser. Let's go 8. Okay. Then even more narrow. Okay, a bit more taper too. 5 is fine. I'm going to save with it like that. We'll see how it renders, and then I'll create a width map and a density map, like an actual density map. That should help. So let's go util, flush caches, scene graph. Of course we have Peach Fuzz now. Peach Fuzz, I don't think we had anything complex on him, right? I think it's just a shader. It is good. So let's go into that material assign. Peach Fuzz, we want to disable that. Then we're just gonna, that's already correct, cool, just replace that with XGen. Cool, save that. Let's just catch that area. We have some highlights catching. Just want to see how this bit does, really. Guess while that's going, let's hide the groom itself. Go into grooming, length. Anything near the eyes needs to be pulled back. Cool, there we go. I feel like I need to push the density a bit more, but we are getting a lot of fireflies. Need the whole thing to be shorter, I think. Needs to be longer. Alright, the density map now. Okay, so we got this guy. Let's just call this one mask, as per usual. Density. Let's go up to 1. Cool, that'll do. And then I guess we probably want the ears to be quite fluffy as well, right? So let's just do a... Oh, shit. I'm not going to worry about smoothing this yet. Let's go 0.5. Cool. Save textures. Save pretext. Okay, there we go. So let's save our scene. Do you think it's worth doing the paint maps in Mudbox Maya and importing them to Maya? Depends on how much control you need. In the case of this scene, I really don't need that much control, so there's no point me going through the multiple stages. Like, I did it for the last project, John Singer Sargent, but that's because I was, one, using Yeti, so regular paint maps are what you need, which is a bit easier to do in other tools. But in the case of this, like, I can paint PTEX in other tools, but I quite like having the Grim preview there and being quite quick, and unless I need really precise textures or types of breakup, it's just not worth doing. Again though, if you're like matching ref precisely, it can be worth it, but for me I tend to find it's not. Okay, there we go. So let's bump up our density a bit. Let's go 32. Okay, there we go. Let's go into our groom material. What's the roughness is set way too low. It's looking promising. I think, is it worth me even throwing this egg room thing in if I can figure out what that is? Like, I have not a clue what it is, but could be worth doing. Still need to add thickness to the cloth as well. And the cloth is really rough, it needs a lot of work. It's got not got any textures yet, so. We can start figuring this out, I guess. So I'm going to save this scene, start render with the ears visible, so I can see what the ear peach fuzz is doing. And yeah, let's figure out this bit. So let's go. What would I even call this? Fur ear? Fur ear clump? Can't remember how to hide. Ah, there we go. Okay, let's add some guides in there. We have no idea what this is yet, so I'll probably go with something woolly as like a default. Okay, grab all these, let's get them up. And then we just sculpt them one at a time. I guess all at the same time. Okay, so do something like that. Okay, there it is over. So this is fur air clump mask. O1. Okay, there we go. So, do we do something woolly? Let's have a play. Oh, 05. That's interesting. There we go. Okay. Let's temporarily set this a lot higher so we can see what our node's actually doing. Modifiers. Kind of interesting looking. One actually worked quite well. There we go. And then add a noise. feel like we should see how that renders. Oh, it definitely needs to come out further. Okay, fur ear clump 01. Need to groom that flat, but that's working. So, I mean, we haven't hit the same silhouette that this has. I'm just kind of playing with it. But let's quickly grab this guy. Want the eyebrows for a moment. In fact, I'll grab the hair. But I'll just jerry-rig that to do X-Gen. Put that there. Yeah, that'll do. Then we need to prune. We only have one, okay. Do I have something plugged in for that already? No, I don't. See how this looks. Probably should just do this bit though. Actually, we'll let it cook. We definitely need to figure out how we're going to get rid of this. I can just get rid of the curl thing and have it kind of curl back that way so it gets a more feathered look again. See, this does read kind of like Afro hair, like as in a literal Afro hairstyle, not the Afro hair type. And it's like fuzzy clumps could be a way to achieve that. Need to play about the shader as well, but how long have I been streaming for? Almost 3 hours, okay. I might start a render, let it cook. This is interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna re-enable, although I kind of need to get rid of the ear things. Where's the mesh coming from? It's imported separately, right? It is, right, cool. I can quickly go grab that. So I'm gonna save the scene. Okay. I need to kind of fill that area out. So let's go. What the hell is that? Oh, that's cool. Going to save this scene. Then go to open scene. Go to modeling. Okay, so we want to get this guy. Okay. How long will this take? Oh, that's quick. Alright, sweet. There we go. And then it's alembic, so let's go to... Got the full Dr. Phil look going. Flush caches. Then go to cache, alembic, export selection to alembic. Cool. Then do a test render with that, make sure it's working. Also gonna do a face scan. Yeah, it's working. So I need to figure out what the hell these are. Either way, we have a groom. It functions, mostly. Definitely need to play about with the shader for this, but cool. Well, I'm gonna kill that render from the camera we were doing. Let that cook, and I'll put it on Discord later. But yeah, I'm going to end the stream there. We've done a fair bit of stuff. Next stream, I'll either start on the head, like Grim, or I'll focus on the clothing, because I've got basically hundreds of things, like small things I need to do. Well, I'll say small. Hundreds of big things I need to do. before I can start refining anything. So like for example, the skin color right now is just a hue rotation, but it needs a lot of manual painting on top. The coat has no thickness, and the area around the zip looks kind of wonky. Obviously we need grooms on the ends of the ear and on the head. We still don't know what the horns are. The clothing has no textures. The shoes don't have a sculpt on the right shoes, so there's lots of stuff that we need to resolve. But that is future me's problem. So yeah, I'm gonna head off here. Thank you for stopping by. If you have any questions, by all means, feel free to reach out. But yeah, I should be streaming, I feel like Thursday. If not, it'll be on the weekend. So enjoy the rest of your night, guys, and hopefully see you soon. Bye, guys.